We rolling?
We're rolling.
I feel like every good podcast starts with are we rolling? Like,
We're here. Is this thing on?
is this
Okay. All right. Welcome everybody to the first ever Baseballism podcast. I'm Travis Chock, CEO of Baseballism, and we are happy to have our first guest. We're going to be talking through this podcast. This is the first episode. We're going to be talking to the most influential people in baseball, whether it be big leaguers, influencers, coaches, players, whatever it may be. We're talking to the best. And we are honored to have our first guest. He was the first Baseballism ambassador we ever signed, really, first big time one. He's got 1 million followers on Instagram, close to 1 million on TikTok, 300,000 followers on YouTube. The man, the myth, the legend. We got Austin Schultz here.
first Baseballism podcast, huh? It's a big deal.
Dude.
Honored to be the first guest, man.
Yep, and we're gonna get to see the real Austin here because usually he's a character on his reels or TikTok, but we're talking to the real Austin Schultz right here.
That's my first podcast
In
in person, yeah. So I'm nervous. I'm excited. So I don't know what questions you're asking me.
Dude's got 1 million followers, and we're his first podcast. Super honored. So we're gonna kick this off nice and easy. Do something really fun. We're gonna do a blind ranking.
Okay.
I'm gonna name 8 sports. You're gonna say number 1 hardest sport, 8 being the easiest sport, and we're just gonna see where they fall.
Are we rage baiting or?
We can rage bait, dude. Soccer's on the list. We'll see what happens.
Oh no.
All right, here we go. So we're gonna start with a sport that let's just go. Hockey.
Dude, I tried skating for the first time about a month ago, and it was humbling. Like my girlfriend, she's from Pittsburgh, and she's used to ice skating and doing all that, and I was slightly embarrassed. So I'm gonna go 3. It's tougher than people think. I've been to a few NHL games recently, and dude,
I agree with you.
It's fast.
Skating is hard on its own, and you're doing other stuff crazy.
Go 3.
Okay.
Good, solid.
Let's go soccer.
Soccer. Let's go 7. I feel like there's gonna be
7.
A little easier. A lot of endurance. We got Mike behind the camera. Like, he's used to running. It's tough. I'm not a runner. I got about 90 feet is about all I have, and then I'm gassed. So we'll go 7. I used to dominate PE.
I can get on board with
recess soccer. So
okay, golf.
You know, this near and dear to our heart. We played 9 this morning. New to the game, learning. Been playing for about 6 or 7 months. So I'm gonna go 2.
2. Okay.
It's very difficult.
Okay.
Extremely difficult.
It is hard, man, and it seems easy, but it is so hard. And
we kind of got with us playing baseball our entire lives, I feel like we got a head start to the majority of the community, so it helps, but very frustrating.
It's one of the things where baseball helps, but it also hurts.
It's unlearning everything you've went against your entire life almost. So we'll go 2.
The little things.
It's very tough.
Okay. F1 racing.
Ooh. I was not expecting that. That's a good question. I consider myself a good driver. Let's go. They're going really fast.
They're going really fast, and they're going really fast for a very long time.
For a very long time. It takes a lot of endurance. Let's go 5.
Okay.
Let's go 5.
Okay, so review here, just in case you're mixed up. We got hockey number 3, we got golf number 2, soccer is 7, and we got F1 racing is 5. Next one, water polo.
I guess you are still. Their feet aren't on the ground, right? They're treading water the entire time. That's tough. It takes endurance. Something I haven't, dipped my toes into, but I feel like I'm a good swimmer. Let's go 6. I feel like it'd be pretty tough to.
It's tough, man. I feel like it's kind of got that ice skating vibe where you're doing 2 things. I know hockey vibe where you're doing 2 things at once.
Yeah, just hard, man. Nothing that
Okay, let's go football.
Football. Okay, yeah, let's go. I don't know, man. I played football in high school. I didn't really have to train for it because I was a good athlete. But it just gets to a point where the dudes are just so big and so fast. It's almost like just natural talent.
Yeah.
Let's go in do we have a 5 spot open still?
5 was F1 racing. You got 8, 4, 1.
We'll go 8. This is tough.
You got 8, 4, and 1 left.
What was again the hardest sports?
Hardest.
I'd go 8.
Okay. Football 8.
Someone's gonna get really upset.
All right, dude. Baseball.
Personally, I'd have to go number one. We were talking about it yesterday with golf. We were kind of debating on that thing. Golf is more like one-on-one. You're battling the course and yourself, but in baseball, it's hard as it is. You're also going against another human being who doesn't care how good you're feeling or how bad or whatever. They don't care. They hate you. They want to dominate you, and they're also talented. And I think hitting a baseball is the hardest thing to do in sports. So we'll go one.
I agree with that. And I'll add on another thing to it. You can absolutely do your best in baseball and execute perfectly and still fail.
Still fail. Very frustrating sport, and it takes a special human to perform at a high level.
And we were talking about golf being hard too. Golf can't say that. If you execute perfectly and you hit the ball perfectly and it's the right distance, you're pretty much succeeding.
Yeah.
Like,
I would say so.
Baseball's not the same.
I would say so. I agree with that.
Okay, last one, basketball. And so it's got to be number 4.
It's got to be 4. Yep. I played basketball through middle school, and you're a 5'5" white kid in middle school. Quickly realized, this was not going to be something that I would be pursuing later on. But it does take a lot of hand-eye coordination, feel, touch, just instincts, but also takes some just natural God-given ability too. But I don't know, dude. It's fun to watch. People who are really good at basketball. It takes a lot of hard work.
Yeah, and size definitely matters.
Yeah, I mean, we're just.
You can say whatever you want, but size is an issue.
These dudes are massive. They're so we didn't stand a chance.
Yeah, and you can be the most athletic person and be 5'3" and probably.
It doesn't matter. Yep.
All right, let's move on. Let's go on to the next topic. We've seen all your skits on Instagram, TikTok. Hilarious, obviously. That's why you have so many followers. But I don't think a lot of people understand how great a baseball player you were. And I want to give you the chance to tell your baseball story on camera for the whole Baseballism audience to see, because I don't think this guy gets enough credit for what he did on the diamond when it comes to serious competition, SEC baseball. We know that's probably the toughest conference in baseball. Let's hear, what's your baseball story?
Yeah, man. So, I played all the sports growing up. I think that's the one thing kids are just playing one sport, baseball. Nowadays, that's the only thing they do. I think playing other sports helped me in certain areas of my life. Like I said, playing football in high school and doing all that. So played all the sports growing up. But I'd say about 10, 11, 12 was when I figured out hey, this is something I want to do. I'm pretty good. I was lucky to play in a really good travel ball team when I was 11 and 12. Went to Cooperstown, went all over the country, played in big tournaments, were good. So I did all that. From a pretty young age, I knew I was going to do this. And going into high school, I just always had these goals, start as a freshman, on varsity, make All-State, do all this. I just had this belief in myself that I was going to go Division I, I was going to get drafted. I just had this, there was no other option really. And I think that's why I got to where I was, because of that belief, but was able to accomplish those goals where I started as a freshman on varsity. Sophomore year made All-State. Junior year was the Gatorade Player of the Year in Nebraska. Senior year was.
That's a big deal.
Yeah,
there's some ballers in Nebraska.
Yeah, it's sneaky.
Ballers, Midwest, man. There's some ballers.
Shout
in
the Midwest, man.
Player of the Year in Nebraska. That's big time.
But yeah, I was lucky. I was actually committed to Wichita State as a sophomore in high school, and ended up decommitting, and everything worked out. Went to Kentucky. But sophomore, junior summers, I quickly realized being in the Midwest, I had to get out and go be seen. So, travel ball and stuff gets a bad rap sometimes, but, us Midwest guys, we have to go out and play in these tournaments in Florida, Georgia, Texas. So I was lucky to, once I decommitted from Wichita State, picked up some more offers, then was committed to Kentucky. And, yeah, three years of All-State in high school. Going to Kentucky, so I was kind of on that trajectory that I'd set out to do. Went to Kentucky. It's kind of the same thing. It's I want to start as a freshman, want to be an All-American, want to get drafted. It was funny for the kids out there. Baseball's a tough sport. Going in my freshman fall at Kentucky, I don't think I've ever really told this story, but we have, at the end of the fall meetings, we have this ranking of best player to worst player, or just 1 through 28, however many guys run it. And I was actually voted the worst position player on our team my freshman fall.
Dude, you just have to eat that? You see a list and you're I'm the worst player?
It was a really bad feeling. It was a really bad feeling. Talk about just like looking in the mirror and being like, dude, I got to change something. It was the first time I'd really faced adversity as a baseball player. Everything had always been so easy for me. So yeah, that fall was kind of like a wake-up call, like, hey man, like we got to get our stuff together. And then ended up starting at shortstop that year, just a couple months later in the spring as a freshman in the SEC, which was a crazy experience. Yeah, sophomore year, COVID. We only played 16 games, but I played some of the best baseball in my life. Ended up being a second-team All-American that year. Had like 5 home runs in 16 games. Was hitting about 400. So
And can you give people an idea of like the competition you're playing against? Like, who are some of the guys that were like you were up against that are either like in the big leagues or the minors now?
yeah, I mean, Garrett Crochet comes to mind. Probably the best pitcher I faced in college. You got guys like JJ Bleday, like the Austin
Dudes, man.
Martins
These
of
are
the world.
dudes,
Like
yeah.
these are guys that you're watching on TV right now, and you know that when you're playing. But when you're in that SEC baseball every day, competing with your teammates, you kind of have to have that mentality, like I'm the best player here, or like you're gonna be gone. Like so you have to live that mindset. And then yeah, sophomore year had a great year, and that's kind of was like, all right, this getting drafted things on the table now. Um, and then had a great junior year and won 10th overall to the Tigers in 2021, which was super cool and one of the coolest days of my life. Just
Yeah,
being
freeze it. How did that feel, dude? Like growing up, having a dream, and like sitting in front of that TV and hearing your name called. How did that feel?
Yeah, well, it was actually a super stressful day because I was hearing, since COVID, they shrunk the draft to 5 rounds. So unfortunately, a lot of really good players from that year were in the next year's draft. So along the process, I was hearing rounds 3 through 8, 4 through 10. I was like, okay, that's really cool. Second day draft, like you just get drafted here, your name call is cool. But that day, the second day starts in the third round and it goes through, and it was starting to get in the fourth, the fifth. I'm looking at my phone, like nothing's happened. Super stressful day, but when we did get the call, super emotional with my family, just all that hard work, looking at your parents, like just makes me emotional to think about it, just seeing your parents with all your closest family members and just all that work, all like the highs, the lows, just everything in between, just for it to pay off. But that's when the real work starts, though. Is that what people don't realize? Like minor league baseball is a grind,
Yeah.
and got to play a couple years, was injured for a lot of it, which is why I'm no longer playing for the most part. But yeah, man, I did what I did. Still get to play a little bit now with the cosmic baseball, and that's its own separate story now. But it's fun, man. It's been a cool
Yeah, and
journey.
that's a perfect transition because when I first called you, I had seen a couple of your reels, and I'm like, dude, this guy could be what Michael Jordan was for Nike for baseballism. Like I saw his content. He had 50, 60,000 followers. It's just a lot of followers, but it's still early. He has 1 million followers now. And I was like, man, we got to get this guy because I mean, not only one, he's coming from a point like a viewpoint of a baseball player, but he's making fun of things that only baseball players would know about. And so, take me from like through the journey of okay, I made it to the pros. This might not be something that I want to do, and this content thing is kind of going crazy for me. Like, how tough was that decision, and what gave you the confidence to move forward with being a content creator?
Yeah, I mean, I started doing TikTok kind of in 2020. Was still in college and through pro ball, but it's hard to put yourself out there because you have to deal with the negativity of like getting chirped at games, like people thinking like this is cringe, which it always kind of starts that way. Like it's like your teammates like give you crap about it. The baseball locker room is like you guys give you crap anytime you try to put yourself out there, but it's only cringe until it gets to a certain point. It's like, oh crap, like, this is pretty cool. You have how many followers? Like it's one of those type of things. So I was doing TikTok kind of on and off, and going into 2024, I was down in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, training for my upcoming pro season, and I had access to the facility, and I was in there like 11 o'clock, midnight hitting, and then it started with pitching drills, hitting drills, which is
Yeah,
usually everybody's favorite
oh,
when
dude.
I ask. And it was crazy. It was pretty bland to start out with, just throwing weighted balls, like just, you've seen the videos, putting the straps on my legs falling over, and I'd post them and I wake up and they'd have like 5 million views. And I was just like, whoa, this is crazy. And then like, I remember you're talking like 1 million followers. I remember I was like, when I had 10,000, it was like, wow, this is
Oh, yeah.
insane, you know? And it just all happened so fast and out of nowhere. And there's a part of me, I had to leave for spring training in like a month or two, and it's a long season. You leave, it's Valentine's Day, you get back home, and it's Halloween. So it's like, is this still even going to be here when I get back? And also, like, what are my pro ball teammates and like the coach is going to think about it? So I was already kind of battling, like I said, the year before, I was pretty much missed the entire season because I had a neck injury, and I was already kind of like, all right, like, I'm not really enjoying this pro ball stuff. Like, it almost felt like a hassle and stuff. And when I was in the facility at night, I would just be like uncontrollably laughing to myself. And like, this is pure joy. Like this feels right. And I just remember like leaving for spring training every year, just like crying in my car. Like, I should not feel this way. Like, I've so distinct anxiety, the pressure, how long of a season it is, being away from your family.
It's a grind, man.
And I was like,
grind.
dude, this feels right, And it's funny, the 2016 trend we were talking earlier about, I was making like skits on Snapchat with my best friends from back home like 10 years ago. We were just posting them on our like Snapchat stories. Like, everybody probably thought we were super stupid and like super annoying. So it all kind of came full circle. And I remember going to spring training. I put in a lot of work that off season too. I was like probably in the best shape of my life, felt good. Ended up tweaking my neck again and wanted to get surgery and got released. And I was already kind of juggling the idea of just hanging it up. And I said, I have some momentum here with this social media stuff. I know how hard it is to get it going. I felt like I was burning a path for myself to succeed and, make a living doing this. So I was already kind of battling those decisions. Like, do I just stick this out, put a lot of work in, but also I feel like I have way more fun doing this thing. And then when I got released, it was almost like I didn't have to make that decision. It was like the weight was off my shoulders. I'm like, all right, I can just go all in and see where we can take this. So I went back to Nebraska. Was just filming skits on my tripod, me out in a random field at this small town Nebraska field. And that's when we were talking again and we started, discussing a partnership and everything. And the rest is kind of history, man. It's just being consistent,
Isn't
having
it
fun.
crazy? Like right now, you get swarmed for more autographs, I would say, than most big leaguers do, and probably more than you ever had in the minors.
It's crazy, man.
Isn't that crazy to think about?
It's super crazy. And I think just like to see the joy on people's faces when they see me and for them to give me like one-liners from videos. And it's just like, this doesn't make any sense. Like, it's crazy. And even like full grown adults, like mom's like, I love you. Like, can we get a picture? Like, it's just to be able to impact that many lives is really cool. Cause the game of baseball, we were talking yesterday about it can crush you like as a person. And when it's out of your life and you're not playing anymore, you kind of lose it's like your purpose and it's what makes you cool to yourself. So being able to, it's helped me love the game again and be able to bring joy into the game of baseball and help out young kids out there. And that's kind of what the Keep It Fun collection is all about. That's kind of was our whole goal and mission behind it.
Keep it fun. Keep the joy that brought you there when you were 8 years old, and bring it into your life completely. It never ends. It reminds me of a quote that one of my buddies, Chase Darno, shout out to Chase Darno, down in SoCal, played pro ball. He said, "Every ball player dies twice. You die once when you stop playing, and then you die again when you die." But I mean, like, hey, if you're an influencer and you're still doing baseball your whole life, live forever, man.
It's cool, man.
You live forever,
it's
dude.
cool.
All right, so let's talk about, like, you stumbled on this influencer thing. You're pretty much, I would say, the top 3 baseball influencer in the world right now. What is some of the advice you can give younger kids, whether it be baseball players or not, or just people in general that want to become a content creator? What are some of the things that you found that worked for you? What do they need to know? What's your advice to them?
My advice would be, I kind of made a pact with myself was when I make a video, if I enjoy it, I think it's funny, I'm going to post it. And if it gets 10 million views or 10,000, like, I'm cool with that. Because at the beginning, when it was really popping off and like the numbers start going down, it's like you get like the anxiety and like, am I still going to be relevant? You kind of battle those things. And when you're just constantly posting videos, they're just getting like 1,000 views, 1,000 views, 1,000 views. You're just like, what am I doing? Right. But just being consistent being authentic, I think, is the biggest thing. People gravitate towards that, especially the younger generation. So I'd say that, like, put yourself out there. And it's also tough being an athlete, especially in baseball. Like, we always put on like this tough dude face. Like, you gotta be cool. Like, it's not cool to mess around, post stuff on the internet. And I battled that as well, but I just kept doing it. And then the really cool thing about the following I've gained is 99% of it is positive. And just like the messages I get, it's super cool. But I think the biggest thing is just be consistent, be yourself, and just burn your own path. Like, if you just rely on what's trendy and like TikTok audios and stuff like that, like, that's not gonna pop off. If you burn your own path, do your own thing. And try new stuff, because when I was doing TikTok through college, and I was doing the instructional like drills, and it was frustrating because I would post a video about probably the best advice I could give a hitter, and it would get 1,000 views. I'm like, what's going on? So
that's everybody, right?
Yeah,
it's like every baseball influencer out there is trying to do that. Exactly. So it's like you've separated yourself from the pack.
The comedic stuff just cuts through all of it. Everybody can enjoy a laugh, and I think that's what you got to do, man.
Yeah, I think we have to tell people to not get it twisted, though. It is hard work. It's hard work. It's not. You got to treat it like a job, even though like it's fun. You got to treat it like a job, right? Yeah. And like you're out there making content all the time.
Yeah, even like my videos from a year and a half ago, like, I cringe. I'm just like, this is so bad. Like, how am I even to this point at this point? Like, you kind of evolve and see what works and stuff is the biggest thing as well. But yeah, I think you can't be afraid to put yourself out there. Like, you're saying the same thing, like, take a risk with you doing your apparel stuff, and you look around and all this stuff.
Man. And like, I come from a very like conservative Asian family. They want you to be a teacher or a doctor or a lawyer, and it's like the advice I would give to kids growing up trying to start a brand or even being an influencer is like, you never know what you have inside of you until you put it out there for the world to see. If you keep it inside of you, you could be the smartest, best artist, whatever it is, best on camera. But if you keep it inside, man, like, nobody cares.
Yeah, and I think that's a good point. Just like to the parents, like, if you have a kid that comes up to you and wants to be an influencer, wants to be a Twitch streamer or whatever, like, if there's this pure joy with it, and they're, it gets them excited, let them do it. You never know what happens. Like, I'm a very, contrary to popular belief, like, I'm a very introverted, like, to myself person, and that's when people ask my parents, my family about what do they think about this, they're like, you can't get him to say 2 words at dinner. Like, he's very quiet, this and that. It's one of those things, like you said, that it's in you, and it's just a gift that you have. And like, if you feel you have that gift, dude, put it out there.
Put it out there, man. And then if it doesn't work, it doesn't work.
It's the best time for it. At least you tried.
At least you tried, man. At least you tried.
No doubt.
Okay, dude. I'm gonna do one thing fun and ask you one more question, and we're gonna call it. Appreciate you being here. I'm gonna name a word, and I want you to name a player that you played with or someone in the big leagues that you admire that matches that word. Okay, first word, leader.
That's a good one. First one that comes to mind, Derek Jeter, Aaron Judge. I mean, you can't win unless you don't have great leaders on a team, and it starts with your manager and your best players. And so I'd say Derek Jeter.
Yeah, Derek Jeter, man, all day. Gas.
I'm going to go back to Garrett Crochet. That dude threw hard, and he's throwing really hard in the big leagues right now.
Dude, what does that look like at the plate? You battled against him?
It looks like I don't even know what it looks like. It's just like a piece of rice. Just like oh, especially if you're not feeling good in the box, dude. Oh my gosh, it's brutal. But that's why that dude's getting paid a lot of money.
Absolutely. All right, dog with a W.
Oh man, Bryce Harper. This is my favorite player. I modeled my game after him, just how hard he plays. He kind of has that D-bag mentality, like, just plays hard, plays the game, got the eye black, that's my guy.
I love what he said about the salary cap the other day. It was like people against the Dodgers signing everyone. He's like, well, if you don't like that, then you're just kind of weak. Like, let's compete.
Yeah,
exactly. I want to compete with the best. I love that mentality.
Got to be the best.
Aura.
Oh man, I'm trying to think if there's anybody I've met. That's a great question. There's so many guys that come to mind. I think you got to feel like a pitcher or something. I'll do like a person I face. I think either like Kumar Rocker or Jack Leiter. I faced them in 2021 in their junior years when they were both projected like top 5 picks. Both of those guys facing them, like they were solid. Like you could sense it, that their confidence and stuff like that, and you have to have that to play it at the professional level.
You see them out there on the bum, you're like, that's a dude, right?
Yeah, especially
even though you're on the other team and you got to beat them,
especially on the road, and it's SEC game, dude. Yeah, and those guys are obviously doing their thing. So
all right, scary.
Ooh.
And it could be like physically intimidating, or just like, I don't want to face that guy.
Dude, I think facing like a Yordan Alvarez as a pitcher would just be like an absolute nightmare. Like that dude is so massive, and he hits righties, lefties, everything. I think we'll go with that.
For sure. All right, smooth.
Francisco Lindor, for sure.
Yep. Good hands, man. All right, teammate.
We'll put Aaron Judge there. Seems like a great teammate, especially with all the attention, being in New York, how popular he is, the MVPs and everything. Seems like a very genuine, down-to-earth guy. And also have some buddies in the Yankees org and the minor leagues that have met him in person. They're like, he's just the nicest dude ever.
Humble guy.
Yep.
All right, freak.
This is an easy one. Ellie De La Cruz. I played against him in the minor leagues, and I remember that was the first week of pro ball I played against him in low A. I think he hit like 3 or 4 home runs that week, and our manager was like, yeah, he'll be a big leaguer. And we were like, really? Because like we're all just in low A and minor leagues. We just started, and yeah, I think he's doing fine.
I feel like there's not a lot of guys you could say in baseball could be like a great football player or a great basketball player, but like athletes like that.
Yeah. He is so tall in person. Like he's mad, and he just glides around the base. He's unbelievable.
It's fun to watch. All right, last question I got for you, and don't be humble about this. You've taken your baseball journey. You got drafted. You got darn near 3 million followers across all your social channels. What is Austin Schultz the most proud of?
Yeah, I think what's cool now with the social media, like through my playing career and reflecting, like it was all about me and like my awards, like my achievements. That's what made me cool to myself. And the social media part has been so cool, just to see how many lives I've impacted, and just seeing how happy people get and be able to take pictures and everything like that. Because at the beginning, it just seems like numbers, just clicks and likes and views, and it doesn't really seem real. But this past year, traveling around the country, doing events, playing ball, and just getting swarmed by people and see how happy they are, and how much, people saying that my videos have brought them and their dad back together, like they both love baseball. Just getting messages like that, just being able to bring joy into the game and impact lives is definitely way more fulfilling than anything I had ever did in my playing career, because that was really just ego and just selfish, just like, oh, look at me, like I got this award, I'm super cool. But the stuff I'm doing now is way more fulfilling, and it's really cool, man. So
that's awesome, dude. And like, I'm going to compliment you even more. I'm going to say, like, you are growing the game in a way that not a lot of big league teams can grow the game. Like the Tampa Bay Devil Rays, I think, have like 400,000 followers on Instagram. Like people are watching your stuff. And also, like, a lot of the comedy stuff you do is about parents, and how they can overreact to some things that kids do where they have like a bad performance during a game. I'm sure a ton of parents have watched your videos and be like, dude, I can't be that to my kid. I can't be that because that's what I look like.
Yeah, well, the funny thing is I get a lot of parents that tell me that they are that parent. So I'm like, at least they're, self-aware enough to admit it. Unless be like, no, I don't do that. Like, that's my dad. And he's like, oh, I don't do that. Like, that'd be something my dad would say. But yeah, man, it's cool. It's been a fun journey, but I don't see any sign in stopping.
Well, I appreciate you being a Baseballism ambassador. Happy to have you on board as always, man. First guest on the Baseballism podcast, Austin Schultz. Thanks for being here, man.
Thanks for having me, man.
Let's go golf again, dude.
Let's do it. Let's play 9.
Let's play 9 and no baseball bets.